Hey, beautiful ladies, welcome to another episode of Over 40 Fit and Lean for us successful women. Today, we're going to explain what the long view is. A long view is just a way of looking at things that creates better results. So let's dig in. Hi challengers, it's Karen here, and in this video I want to talk to you about how to manage your mindset by taking the long view. So when we talk about any kind of a new fitness routine or a lifestyle change, weight loss, they're all the same thing. There are different ways of approaching it, and what I find that after doing this for so many decades is that most women take the short approach. And what I mean by that is there's always little goals that they're trying to attain, and they don't have a long vision. They don't have a long view. They don't make it a lifestyle. They make it little blips along the way. So I'm a journalist by trade. I have a degree in journalism. And what I was taught in journalism school was when I wrote for the newspapers, when I did little videos, they're always looking for the sound bites. So sound bites are like when you're watching TV and something is encapsulated in 30 or 60-second blips. And then they'll go on to something else. And there's just these little blips, or they'll talk and then they'll pause while the other person talks. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to ramble on like I do here. So sound bites is also how a lot of people think. Now, in the fitness and nutrition field, nowhere is it more evident, especially in this day and age, that sound bites are everywhere. Six-pack abs in 6 weeks, lose 20 pounds in 30 days, do this retreat and find God in 5 days, or whatever it happens to be. Everything is about attaining it and attaining it fast and then closing the door. So I liken it to like these little waves, these little, they're going through life like this. They're trying to accomplish and then it's done, accomplish and then it's done, accomplish and then it's done. When it comes to training, when it comes to fat loss, when it comes to learning about nutrition and macronutrients, when it comes to putting a plan into place, rarely does that plan look at it as a lifestyle. And if it does, it will fall away and the client will revert back to old habits because it wasn't made a long-standing habit. So when I talk about the long view, I'm talking about making what we do a lifestyle. And so people say to me, how do you stay on track all these years? It is just who I am. It's ingrained in my fabric. It's part of the fabric that's woven through me. It's intrinsic to who I am. My eating and my training is not outside of myself. I don't have to war with myself to get it done, and I don't fret over it. And if I do fall away, I trust that I'm going to come back because it's a lifestyle. It's like brushing my teeth. It's like making the bed. It's like going to work every day. These are long views that we take. Money management is a long view. We have to look at financial management. We have to look at investments, that kind of stuff. That's the long view. And so the challenge is to look at your belief systems, look at the kind of glasses that you're wearing, or looking at what you're telling yourself, or looking at what kind of an eater are you? Where do you define yourself? And guaranteed, if you've been challenged with trying to stay with something, it's because you're looking at it as this little blip in time and it's going to carry me through. But it doesn't unless you make it a lifestyle. The long view is about the process. So the process is the goal. That's the key to everything. And that's what coaching allows for the client to get to if they decide to stay with it long enough. So the goal is the process. So when I have a woman saying, I want to lose, 10 pounds before I go on vacation, and then she goes on vacation and she messes up, she looks at it like it's a failure. She looks at it like, darn, I wanted to get here and I got there and then I was trying to get here and then I fell. She wasn't looking at it as a long view. And what I say to this woman when she returns is, how did you do on your holidays? Well, I did lousy. And she thinks she has to start over. But it's not about starting over. It's about building that 2-week holiday and everything that occurred into the process of learning and growing, because that's why we're here. And so what I say to people is, I'm glad you're going on holidays. I'm glad you have this big event coming up, because then you can weave everything that we've been working on, everything that you've been learning about training and nutrition and fat loss into this 2-week spread of holidays or whatever it happens to be. And they look at it like they want to get to a certain place and then they can have ease on the holiday. No, it doesn't stop, guys. It doesn't stop. The long view is you take it with you. You take it with you like you take your toothbrush and toothpaste with you on holiday, because that is your lifestyle. And so if you hit and miss, or, oh, I messed up on this holiday, or whatever it happens to be, that's fine, because that's the process. So the process is not, I have women saying, I don't want to do the 10-week challenge unless I have 10 weeks off, totally free, so I can focus. That's not real life. Whoever has 10 weeks free? I haven't had 10 weeks free in years. So you learn that no matter what comes your way, you adjust your sails to sail. And it might be a big windstorm. It might be a little one. You might have to turn. The winds may turn. And this is part of life. This is part of growing. And so we take the long view, and we don't beat ourselves up if every weekend, Friday night, we fall away and we eat a ton of nachos. Okay, so what? Right? You get up Saturday and you reinvent yourself. You've got 3 to 5 eatings, 3 to 5 meals, or meals and snacks, however you want to call it, in a day. So every meal is a chance to redo yourself. It's a chance for a makeover. It's a chance for getting it right. And if you don't get it right, then you put that in your box of learning and you say, okay, well, I got a bunch of stuff I learned over here so far. And then I've got a bunch of what you might call fails. They're not fails, they're just slips. And those slips then, okay, let's see how we can now weave it into everything I've learned to make it a lengthier vision, to make it about the process. Because coaching and learning this stuff and teaching it to you guys, and you guys ingesting it and making it part of who you are, is the coaching process. It's not about the workouts. It's not about the reps. It's not about the calories. It's not about the macros. It's not about the formulas. It is about a mindset that says, today I wake up and I am on this journey path. And this journey path does not quit until I'm off the earth. That's what it is. And the person that compartmentalizes, or the person that's on a program and then all of a sudden they get swayed and they're over here with Dr. Google, or they're over here with a new diet plan, or this person said this, I've got to look it up, or I'm going to go talk to that lady in the change room because she was talking about losing 30 pounds. How did she do it? Stop. Go back to center, guys. Go back on the path. And the path is one step in front of another, one step in front of another. Every step and every rep and every bite is part of the process. And so this is where I say we need to take the long view. So instead of waking up every morning and going, oh my gosh, I haven't lost a pound, or I'm up a pound, that is part that you weave into the whole process of learning. Because it's not going to matter in 2 months or 2 years. What's going to matter is you adding it all up so it becomes a fabric, a mosaic of who you are. So this is where we get to challenge and look at belief systems, how you look at the world. What kind of glasses are you wearing? Are you wearing rebel glasses? Are you wearing martyr glasses? Are you wearing glasses that say, I really don't want to conform to anything, so I'm not going to conform to anything, and then everything just falls by the wayside, and you live a hedonistic, chaotic life because you want to be free? Is that how you define freedom? I see that as a cage. So everybody has a different way of looking at things, and it's those belief systems that run deep that run the show. It's always the unconscious ones that run the show, the ones that you don't know about. And those are the ones that we try to bring to the surface in this coaching lifestyle process. Because here's the deal, you're always going to make your deepest, strongest beliefs true. So if you have a belief that says, I've done this before, I know I can't do it. Or I have one client who would go into the gym and say, well, I'm working on losing fat, but I could never be like that girl over there. Never, because that wasn't in her visual. She never believed it as a girl, as she thought athletes were over there and she was over here, and she would never be part of that. That was a belief system that we eventually unraveled, and we made that belief system untrue. So then she could put in a new belief system that says, yeah, There's a tribe, there's a whole bunch of tribes, and I'm in them all. I'm in them all deciding what I want to do based on my beliefs. So this is where we're challenging beliefs, patterns, conditionings, things that we say to ourselves. I can't lose weight because my whole family is big. I've done this before and I'm probably going to fail again. There's I don't have enough time. I don't have enough motivation, whatever it happens to be. These are all belief systems that you come in with. And these are the things that you need to look at. A lot of them you can verbalize, but a lot of them you can't. And this is where we learn and grow and dig them out and add them into the little pile of stuff that we're learning. And we look at them with curiosity instead of shame and guilt. And we don't look at it like I messed up again. I haven't lost any weight in 3 weeks. So what? I had one client I was sending through a show. She hadn't budged in 3 weeks and the show was like 4 weeks away. And we had like 6 pounds to lose off of her. And it was like, what do I do? I got to do this. And I went, no, you're just going to be still. She's like, what do you mean I got to be still? I got to do something. You are doing something. You're paying attention. You're staying focused. You're taking the long view. You're not changing because your body underneath is actually going through all this shifting biochemically, hormonally, biomechanically even. It's looking at, what do I need to do? What's happening under here? And there's these cellular changes that are happening that you can't see, but sometimes the body has to catch up. And so she stayed still for 3 weeks and she bided her time. She trusted in the process. And guess what? She went below her other contest weight. She went below it and she was leaner and more shapely and she won. But that was because she didn't do the usual panic. A lot of people panic, or a lot of people go, I'm not losing, I mustn't be doing something right. Or I'm a failure, it's not going to happen, and they rebound back up. So the long view allows us just to sit back and take a breath and go, okay, do I change something? Do I not? Does it matter? Is it going to matter in next year at this time if nothing changes, but you've learned a whole bunch of stuff, right? That's change, guys. That's change. So the long view is asking you to have faith and asking you to have trust, but stay in it. Don't stay in it and beat yourself up. Don't put unrealistic expectations on yourself. So every time a client comes back with a Friday check-in, which is what we do, I don't just want to know about their weight and their body fat. I want to know how their week was. I want to know their highs and lows. I want a conversation, because in that conversation, I can find out where they're sitting in all of their beliefs, where they're sitting with their challenges, where their stresses are. And then a pattern comes up and you start to see the pattern. And then when you see the pattern, you can kind of pick it up in its wholeness and go, all right, I think this is where you're at. I think this is where you're sabotaging, because there's a pattern here. And you don't know the pattern if every week you do a weigh and you're like, I failed. Oh, I can't believe it. And you fall away for 2 months, or you fall away for all summer, which is what a lot of women do. There's learning in every step, guys. And it means practicing self-love and patience and trust. And in that process, that's how life is supposed to be lived. And this is where the real learning starts to germinate, and it starts to rise to the surface. And it's those nuances, because what we're doing here is a blending of art and science. It's not just science, it's art and nuances as well. So take the long vision, and I promise you it's going to be more fruitful and more rewarding for you as you sit back and look down this long path, this new lifestyle of yours, where you're learning and growing and you're pulling stuff in and you're letting go of old stuff, and some stuff trips you up and you might go ahead 2 steps and back 1. That's okay. That's part of the process. The goal is the process. That is where all the richness and the learning is. So we're not going wider by pulling in more stuff, pulling in more apps and pulling in more diets and pulling in more info from Dr. Google. We're going deeper. We're going deep and long. All right. Okay. Ciao, you guys. Bye.